Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another week of the Jobsticker's Jobseeker Resource Show. Every Tuesday at 2, right here on my Jobsticker's Resource Show group page. And I hope that beginning wasn't cut off. Again, this is my third avenue of trying to go live on Facebook groups, and there's a lot of different bells and whistles. So this week, I want to tackle LinkedIn profile, and specifically, I want to tackle your header, your headline, if you will, that header, as well as the About Me section, which is essentially your summary. So I am going to dive right in because, again, this is so important for anybody who's out there job hunting. LinkedIn is a major player. Between 85 and 95% of the recruiters are on LinkedIn and using it actively. And so if you're a job seeker, you should be too. And you should not have an incomplete profile. You should be very comprehensive, filled out, so you're boosting your visibility. And two biggest sections: your header, which is something that everyone sees, even if you make a comment on somebody's post. That is the thing they're going to see below your name. So the header's huge. And then again, the About Me, because as they scroll, that's the first thing they're going to come across, and they want to see essentially what is going on. So, with you and your and what you offer, your value offering. So, the header, a few formulas here that I've kind of collected from other colleagues, as well as put my own kind of thought into it, that I think is a pretty good list here. So the first one is going to be role, okay, and then a separator, and then a specific achievement, okay. So you could say something like, B2C sales representative, divider. Then you could put something like, 30 million generated in 2020. Um, Real short, concise, still has an impact, tells you who you are, and it shows, again, an achievement you were able to accomplish. Another one would be marketing manager, divider, 10 years experience directing seven-figure ad budgets. Um, the next formula I like is role, divider, years of experience in a particular industry, divider, fun fact. So you could put something like human resources manager, then a divider. You could say 10 years of people experience, divider, dog fanatic, or uh, senior manufacturing engineer, divider, 6 years in GMP manufacturing, divider, annual Disneyland pass holder. Okay, the next one, role, then industry/expertise, then a unique value. So in this particular case, we have director of HR at IBM. Their industry and expertise would be software technology. And then a unique value would be they're also a certified HR trainer. Another one would be R&D scientist at Pfizer. Separator, oncology research. Separator, science blogger. Okay, the next one is going to be a role, then a divider, then a fill in the blank. And it's going to be helping, fill in the blank, do, fill in the blank. And those two blanks, one's going to be the type of company, and the second is going to be the result. So you could say social media manager, divider, helping software startups manage and grow their social media to drive more sales. Okay, example 5. This is going to be a lot for the freelancers and consultants out there. I help blank do blank. And that's going to be, again, that type of company and the results. So I help coaches and consultants generate an additional 10,000 to 20,000 per month via video ads. Short, sweet, and simple, gets the point across. Number 6 is going to be a description of what you do or how you meet someone's pain point, followed up with 3 keywords within the industry. So you could say something like, I help manufacturers become more efficient through process engineering, divider, GMP certified, divider, project manager, divider, CQE. And for the people in that world, in that space, they're going to understand those acronyms. So feel free to keep it specific and niche. Again, as I always preach, more niche, the better. And then LinkedIn headline number 7 example, another fill in the blank. The role you're in, specializing in blank, blank, and blank, right? Content marketing strategist specializing in press releases, blog content, and social media. Okay, LinkedIn headline formula is number 8. If you insist on saying actively seeking, you could say something like the role seeking a blank opportunity, certified public accountant seeking a management opportunity, financial analyst looking for opportunities in the private sector. This is the last one I would choose. Again, if you have to make it known with a bullhorn what you're trying to get, this one would work. But again, it's more about what you can offer in terms of value to that hiring manager, and what they are going through as to what you want to present yourself, saying I'm the one who can solve those pain points you have, rather than you're raising your hands and saying, hey, I'm looking for this type of opportunity. But again, if you want to make it known, that could be a way to spin it. Financial analyst looking for opportunities in the private sector. It's short and sweet, but again, a little bit missing some luster. So try not to do that one, but again, it's an example. Now, the about me section. This is your meat and potatoes of the LinkedIn profile. The experience itself is obviously going to be the biggest section in your resume, but the about me section for the LinkedIn will dictate if they're going to keep scrolling or not. Most of the time. Sometimes they're just going to go right to the experience. If they're a recruiter that might be heavy on recruiting the titles, and not really concerned about anything leading into, is this person they're recruiting a good candidate in terms of their work history doesn't look too shaky, and it kind of seems aligned with what they're trying to find. But the about me, again, it's going to stand out real quick, so make sure it's looking good and it's filled in. So there's a few different examples of the type of summary. I personally like the one where I'm using a blend of how I create my resumes for my clients, using that summary on the resume with some of the skills as well as accomplishments, and trying to put them all together into the about me section. That keeps it kind of aligned in your messaging from the hiring manager and the recruiter standpoint. You never want to pit them against each other and have them butting heads as to what type of person you are as a candidate. So if you have one that's, if your profile is a little bit more, I don't know, maybe cute, or, you're trying to kind of be a little witty or what have you, versus the resume, which is more matter of fact. In some circles, it won't matter, but I definitely have been on that side of the hiring table where you want it to be clear and consistent as to what type of candidate you are. So I'm a big advocate and proponent of using that particular formula, the one that's kind of a resume transfer, if you will, but also adding a few little touches to it. But a few of the other samples, mission-based. So the mission-based summary, every brand has stories to tell, stories that engage, inform, surprise, delight, and impact their audience, but they deliver on measurable business goals, right? Those operational skills you have and wins. And you want to know if you are if you are going to use a mission-based summary, open with a broad description of what you do. Then you get more and more specific, right? So it's a great choice to engage with a variety of people. After all, someone who's unfamiliar with the field is probably hazy at what a content strategy means, but everyone understands telling stories for brands. So if you are a content strategist, people understand that, hey, you kind of not dumb it down, but kind of trickle it down so it's more translatable for every audience member. Think of that macro level when you're kind of going this route. It shows that you get that bigger picture and you understand why your job encompasses more than your daily to-do list. You don't have to be, contributing something completely earth-shattering and disruptive either. It can be very matter of fact. So don't get too elaborate either in terms of how you're going to go approaching this when you do write it. But yeah, it's nice to kind of, you can talk to people and tell them about how you help clients find the subject and medium that best fits their unique identity, and how you produce high quality content that meets those objectives, and how you're a content strategist for different high profile companies that you've collaborated with, and you can talk about those specific companies, if it's Netflix or McDonald's or something. So that is going to be the mission-based summary. Then you get the personality summary. This one again is leaning on a little bit of the cute side, but it has been proven that it can work. So this is going to be something where My example here is when I was 21, I climbed Mount Everest, not metaphorically, but I literally climbed the highest mountain on earth. And then you can kind of go into about your thought process of how maybe you thought about quitting, and despite all those elements that were against you, and altitude, and just everything that would entail going through a feat like that, you were the person who kept going, right? And once you say something, you're going to do it and make it happen. So it kind of shows that you can persevere, and how now the key is then tying it back into the business function of what you're trying to do, that operational function. So um, now you could say something like, now I put that perseverance to work as a senior account manager for ABC company. I don't have to climb any more mountains, but I do have to move them still. And this is kind of something that's going to really hook people in, because it begins with that anecdote and demonstrates, a couple personality traits. But then it goes right into that kind of hard matter of fact, as an account manager, you're well versed in negotiations, relationship management, and, client acquisition and retention, that kind of thing. So, you can then kind of tie it up by saying, hey, if you're interested in grabbing some coffee and talking shop, or hear how I almost fell off the mountain at 27,000 feet, please send me an email. So again, it's a nice little way to uh, begin with something that will resonate and keep the reader interested. The third one is short and sweet, and that's going to be essentially what I use. Again, comes from the resume, your summary, some skills, couple lines of accomplishments. This tends to work because it's foolproof. You're not really ruffling too many feathers with any oddities, and you're not using personal pronouns. It's more of very matter of fact, and it can serve you as that digital resume. Um, a lot easier than trying to get creative, I guess, up front. So, how much, you put into the about me, no matter what you do, just make sure, again, it's not ruffling any feathers. And that's why I kind of like to lean on this one, because it really doesn't it doesn't really turn anybody off. And that's kind of what you want to do with all these hiring personalities that you're dealing with, and all the different avenues within those, and within the hiring game, like the AI up front, and the HR admins that are sourcing you, and the recruiters that are vetting you, and doing a deep dive of your credentials. And then finally, the hiring manager who's hiring you, you got to kind of keep it very linear and what I call pragmatic. So, pragmatic resume kind of falls into this then with the actual LinkedIn About Me. Um, then we have the accomplishment summary, which essentially you're going to be almost essentially, it's kind of like what I just mentioned. But in this particular case, you can say something like, not only have you, you have the ability to do A, B, and C type of function as a particular role that you serve in, but here are your biggest wins. And you can announce, essentially maybe those three core projects that really make you you, and what you're most proud of. And then you can kind of wrap it up with, again, a couple key skills, or a handful of key skills that kind of live in that space you're in. Just again, so it resonates with the readers, and they can see that you've got these accomplishments, and you also have the hard skills that they will be functioning in every day, that they will be using to function in every day. So, as long as it's well written, thoughtful, your LinkedIn will have some boost in visibility. Again, you just can't slap it together. Um, that is it for today. I appreciate your time. Again, I'll be here every Tuesday at 2, and then every Wednesday tomorrow at 2 on LinkedIn Live. So get in touch if I can help you. But otherwise, I wish you well, stay safe, and thanks again for joining Jobsticker's Job Seeker Weekly Resource Show.